Hi, this is Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we are talking about planetary energy. That's right, today we are talking about all things Neptune in retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So I'm going to give you some dates and some information, and then some dates at the end of kind of making these great aspects, or sometimes not so great aspects, but so you are aware ahead of time. So let's talk about all things Neptune in retrograde. So let's get you some hard, fast dates for Neptune in retrograde. So on March 7th, 2022, Neptune went into retrograde in the sign of Pisces. It will station and turn full direct into retrograde on June 27th through December 3rd. And then it will be in post-shadow energy from December 3rd through March 27th of 2023. So it's going to be in retrograde for quite a while. So Neptune is kind of an amazing energy, and it can really amp up your psychic abilities. So Neptune is kind of like the planet of illusion or dreams, and kind of delusions as well, because kind of if you kind of live in your dream life a little too much, you can kind of think that that's where life really should be. But it isn't. So, and it can kind of make your psychic abilities very sensitive and kind of like overwhelmed, but it can also amp up or kind of like make your dreams very vivid. And more often than not, people that already have psychic abilities and they have that gift of dreaming, sometimes their dreams will be more amplified when Neptune is in retrograde. And it can also bring up stuff from their past lives or things from when they were a kid. So it kind of stuff from the past coming back up. So with Neptune in retrograde, kind of be ready to kind of swim in the ocean with the sharks for a little bit. It's going to kind of be really this way to kind of work our way through this kind of like amazing energy of like wanting to live in our dream life. And that's where we have to kind of like give ourselves a little kick in the behind and kind of like, okay, we really need to live in the real world. And you're going to see this with a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of people kind of like, I'd rather live in this dream life, or kind of, I always notice a lot of people like, kind of really watching movie after movie after movie, like almost like they're living that life of the TV program or the movie or whatever it is. Like, oh my gosh, they're just one after another, kind of like, oh my gosh, they're stuck in that mode. And it can really amp up your abilities too in Neptune. It's kind of going to amp up our kind of like that intuition, almost a claircognizant energy with it, of just kind of that clear knowing information. So that's going to be doing that as well. But during retrograde, it's going to be kind of making our second guess ourselves, kind of like, are we sure this is what we want? Are we sure this is where it's going to get me where I want to go? So that's kind of the energy that we're dealing with. Over the next 6 months or so that Neptune is in retrograde, we are going to have this energy of kind of like wanting to trust our feelings, but not really sure about trusting our feelings, and kind of going back and forth. So kind of things that we used to normally like, yes, this is what I want. We might kind of go, oh, I'm not sure if that was what I really want. I'm not sure. So you're going to see this, a lot of people like not really sure. And that means they're kind of like really high in this Neptune energy. So follow your instincts as much as you possibly can, your claircognizant gift, but also be aware that there may be some choices, and then making new choices and kind of keep changing and modifying. So let's talk about some really some strong aspects during this time frame. So the first one is July 2nd. We have Mercury in the sign of Gemini forms a square with Neptune in retrograde. And this is going to kind of make us believe some lies. It's going to kind of feel like, I'm not really sure about this, but it just sounds really true, so I think I should believe it. Kind of that kind of energy. It won't be able to acknowledge like the true situation. It's going to kind of really make us kind of like, are we sure this is what it is? It's going to feel awkward, or it's going to feel misplaced at some point. So just know that that's coming up. try not to be the ostrich with your head in the sand and kind of like, I don't want to see anything, or kind of like, no, see no evil. Definitely we have to look at everything, and we have to kind of get that gut feeling of like, where are we going with this information? And it's really important that we really trust our gut more than anything else. Make sure you're trusting it. Then on July 14th, we have Venus in the sign of Gemini, squares Neptune in retrograde. And this will make us kind of like matters of the heart really confusing. If you're starting a new relationship over the last few months, it might kind of like, I'm not really sure about this anymore. I was sure at one point and now I'm not. Kind of like back and forth energy a little bit. This is like a time not to make like money matters or kind of money decisions. They can really kind of like send us like this backward energy of kind of like, we're not really sure what we want to do with this part. So make sure that you are certain when you're making transitions with your money around July 14th or so. September 16th, we have our sun in the sign of Virgo will form an opposition to Neptune in retrograde. And this is going to make us feel a little more confused about our place in the world, or what we kind of bring to the plate, kind of how do we kind of make money, and how do we do this, and kind of there should be or could be a lot of kind of refoundation, kind of like, is this really what I want to do? Are you sure this is what I want to do? And kind of questioning ourselves. So make sure that that kind of energy, and like I said, that's around September 16th. So kind of like, is this what I really want? Make sure you really want something before you make some new choices there. Then on October 12th, we have Mars in Gemini will square Neptune in retrograde, and it will do it twice. One on October 12th and then one on November 19th. And these are kind of really a time to kind of take steps forward and kind of like you want to move forward, but you almost want to move back at the same time. Like, do I really want to make this move? Do I really want? Mars is all about moving and motion and action. And then kind of Neptune is kind of like that dream state. Am I doing this in my dream? Do I really want to do this? Is this part of my dream that I want to come forward, or is it something I want to get back? This is going to be kind of like our fear holding us back, kind of like, is this really what I want? I thought this is my dream, but I'm not really sure. So you can have people kind of rethinking their whole career path, or kind of like their decisions over the last few months. It's going to make it like, do I really want this? The last one is we have on December 1st, we have Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius squares Neptune in retrograde. And this is going to kind of be playing like two energies, like two opposite energies kind of coming at each other. And on the other hand, this is going to be a great time to like focus in on what we want, but it's going to make us feel like we're being like pulled, like we're like, how do we communicate with this, and how do we do this part? So it's going to kind of attack persons a little bit differently, but it's really important to kind of take some time. And this is a really great time to kind of like unload, unplug, kind of relax, and kind of like kind of really detox what you've been doing or going through, kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. I do like this, where I want to go. And you're going to see a lot of people amping up in anxiety. Oh my gosh, it is going to be an all-time high around the 1st of December. You're going to have a lot of people kind of like going crazy with this energy. And I guarantee you it's a great time to rethink some stuff, but it's also a time to kind of take a retreat from everything else and kind of like decide what you want in your life and where do you want to go. So let's do some angel cards and get us a little bit more information about Neptune in retrograde in the sign of Aquarius for 2022. So let's do the cards. Here we go. This is our first one popping forward. Of course, retreat. So remember, at times during Neptune in retrograde, you do take some retreat time. Don't do it for too long. Make sure you take some time to yourself and kind of like, am I making good choices for me and my family? And then where do I want to go with this next? Where do I want this energy to come up next for me? That's a really great time to kind of take some time to yourself to think about things. Healing. This can be very healing, and this can bring up, like I said earlier, like past lives and past, like your childhood now, and it's coming up to be healed. It's not coming up to kick you or anything else or keep you down. It's so you can kind of let it go. I've had a lot of students going through this at this time, kind of like letting things go from the past. So it's already been amping up, but it's going to continue as well, kind of letting things go that don't work for you anymore, things that you're kind of like ready to let go of. I have so many clients going through this. It's great because it really gives you the opportunity to rethink what you want in your life. This one is popping forward. Support. We have support on the other side. Our angels and guides want us to know they're supporting us as we go through this. Ask them for their help and their assistance in all of this. Make sure that you are really supporting your energy with this. So it's really important to kind of really communicate with them. What do you want to do? How do you want to make it through this? Surrender and release. Let go. If there's past life stuff or even childhood stuff that comes up, let it go. Don't hang on to it. It's one of those touch it. Realize that it taught you maybe some great life lessons, but now it's time to go. It's time to move on from this time frame and keep going. Don't allow that energy to hold you back anymore. Don't allow that. These two are coming together at the same time. So first we have trust. We are going to have trust issues with our abilities, kind of like I've normally been able to trust my abilities and now I don't know if I can or not. So just know that this is kind of like, how do we do this? And this one is ideas and inspirations. So as ideas and inspirations come up during this time frame, make sure that you're making sure that this is something that you really want. Is this really the changes I want to make? Maybe it's something I need to think about a little bit longer or do some research in it or read a book or something else. But these two are coming up together, trust and ideas and inspiration. So trust your ideas and inspiration, but also make sure that you're holding on to them, kind of like, what's coming up next? If I do this, where is this going to affect me? And trust the idea and get some more information for yourself. I think it's great to kind of get some new ideas and really think about it, kind of let it rattle around in your cage upstairs for a little bit and kind of make some new choices for you. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.